Wonderful. And we just had breakfast in Brickfields. This is a cultural street, right? You can just see, the celebrations that we just have outside. And this is really, we call it diversity. I used to stay in Brickfields as well, from the end to the end, from the start to the end as well, just to let you know. Well, I'll just pause there, Mr. Lawrence, while we'll come back with a little bit more difficult questions. But I would like to, open up to the floor to Dr. Buma. Dr. Buma, is we understand from you that you have been in the data scientist area for a while now. Would you be able to share with us, your journey as a female or a woman in data science in this particular field itself? What are the challenges that you have, and how do you overcome it? And of course, share a little bit to us, your experience as a data scientist.
Yeah, sure. Thanks for that. So let me give a brief about myself, right? Myself, I'm Dr. Buma here, completed my doctorate in the field of computer science and engineering with a major of data science, right? That's where I believe that I'm a data scientist serving as well. So currently I'm playing a role of AI solution architect and a Gen AI expert along with a manager in Avanade for data and AI. Right. So being a woman, and so for your question, definitely I have gone through a lot of things, a lot of barriers of being a woman. Starting from my research career, I would like to share with you that, while I was registering for my PhD in the field of computer science and engineering, especially in the field of data science, there was a newbie at that time. So I feel myself lonely. It's because the major barrier what I faced is lack of visibility of women in that particular field. When we don't find a better example of people whom we are looking for, like similar to us, if you don't find one such people in your journey, you will feel like you're lost or you're walking alone in the path. So that's what I felt like a first barrier for me while I was trying to register for a PhD. So I thought, I took a step back. Why do I need it? Why do I need a PhD? Because for me, pursuing a PhD is something like a persistent. Then, something pushed me. That something is nothing but my goal. To reach my goal, my primary thing, to get a doctorate degree and to achieve something in a field where we have less women, so that I will act as a mentor. Because at that time, to overcome my barrier, I was searching for a relatable mentor for me. So why do I mean here relatable mentor for me? It's not just who can guide me in the same field, tech field, who could also have or who could came across the similar experience what I have came across. So I found one. I made myself active, seeking in the communities for the role model, and that definitely helped me a lot. My mentor, a right mentor. So to overcome this kind of barrier, we should find a better mentor for us, who always engage us, who always motivate us, and apart from everything, we need to stand for ourselves. Being a woman, we will be questioned most of the times, we will be underestimated, and that will really bring us down, that will frustrate us. So what I have done is, I have made my frustration into motivation. That's the thing. I pushed myself to reach my goal. And with all the active communities, I made myself engaged, developed my networks. This is how, I managed to overcome the barriers and achieve my doctorate. And that is not the end of my hurdles. After achieving the doctorate degree, jumping into the IT field is not quite easy for me. It's because I have started my career as academician. I have not directly into the IT field. So academic is something different. It's two different mindset, academy and IT industry. Because when you talk about academia, it's completely of depth and exploration. But when you come to IT industry, it is like something you need to focus on your speed and the solution delivery. So everything to be, in on time. So that's also another hurdle for me. And yeah, so find yourself, engage, find a good mentor, be active in an active community, engage yourself, develop your network to overcome all the barriers. So this is my suggestion.
Wow, thank you, Dr. All right, so now I'm going to be a little bit more difficult in terms of questions for Mr. Lawrence. So, Mr. Lawrence, I have a question which is, probably you may want to share with everybody is, what is the fastest growing economy, or which is the fastest growing economy that, in your own personal opinion, or even probably is already available in the industry, what do you think is the fastest economy right now?
Okay, the fastest and biggest growing economy is not China, and it's not US, right? Contrary to what we believe, if you look across all the different things that happen in IT, actually, if you look at cybercrime, if cybercrime is a country by itself, it's actually the third largest country by itself, close to $10 trillion in revenues on an annual basis as well, right? So that is actually quite a staggering numbers as well. And then you ask among the top three, China, and US, and then of course cybercrime, who is the fastest, and that kind of size actually growing the fastest. Actually, cybercrime is actually the fastest. If it's a nation, it's actually will be the fastest growing as well, right? So it is staggering, but it's also thought-provoking, because then you think about, as we move into the era of AI, right? How can we use AI then to really address this issue as well, right? Because with AI, involving a lot more complex decision making. There's a lot more complex process, and of course, all this all incoming new large language model and so on, and so the compute power obviously has grown up exponentially at the same time as well, right? So we can either use AI in the wrong way, or in an irresponsible way, or we can tackle it in a responsible way as well, right? And as you think about AI usage, and you think about data and everything else we did as well, right? Cybersecurity almost has to be, I would say, like a day zero kind of responsibility. Like it has to be something that, as part of what we call, security future kind of initiative is, secure by design, secure by default, secure by operation as well, right? I think we're thinking about that way as well.
All right, thank you, Mr. Lawrence. And then recently, I think everybody would love to know this, right? With the recent, huge IT disruption, which is CrowdStrike software updates, I believe you have a lot of Malaysian companies and directors or even CEOs would have called you. What are those common questions that you have received? Would you share a little bit more with the audience?
Yeah, it's quite a surreal experience a few days as well now. Who was stuck at the airport during the CrowdStrike? Anyone here?
Wow, we do.
We do, right? For one or two person, right?
Thank you for being here.
Yeah. So I think this happens on a Friday, Saturday, I can't remember.
Yeah.
It's on the weekend, right? It's interesting because you get calls from customers, and usually customers, especially the major one, and that's kind of expected, something of this nature as well. But what's interesting about CrowdStrike, and by the time it hit the 7-8 hours, I just realized this is a lot different from all the previous IT outages as well. Number one, I'm getting calls from a lot of friends who haven't spoken to me for 15, 20 years. And suddenly I got a ping, Lawrence, hi, how are you? Congrats you on playing Microsoft. I was like, this is a very weird way of congratulating when I already in Microsoft for 5-6 months, and now you're only hanging. And secondly, I never hear from you guys for 15 years. By the time the third or fourth person who ping me, my first follow-up question is that, are you calling from the airport? Yeah, so a lot of people think that this is a Microsoft problem, and Lawrence, he must have a solution to my. Yeah, So that's one interesting observation that there is. And this association that because all the blue screen, everyone is calling Microsoft, and I'm hearing from my customers, from CEOs, from long lost friend I haven't heard of before, and from my parents, from my auntie and uncles, everyone is calling. So by the time I hit the middle, and I realized that wow, this is not a normal outstage at all, right? So I say it's a wake up call because by the time we hit Monday, I got a call from the Government office as well that you need to come to the office, and I say okay, all right, we need to go in and explain ourselves and say why this is happening as well. So it's going to be a very private meeting, just three from Microsoft and they go in and special officer. Oh, you go in, it's a room in a U shape, two circle, middle circle, and they put it in the middle there with a mic, and it's like a US Congress. So Lawrence, tell me what's happening. Can you guarantee this will not happen again? And I said no. The answer is I can't guarantee it. Right? There's no one can ever. I said to say that this will never happen again. Number one, this will be irresponsible answer. Right? I think what's more important is understanding how it happened, why it happened, and how we can build a better process about it as well. Right? So I think there's a lot of realization that we are living in in this highly internet connected world. There are certain things that are getting more complex, and every time that this something happens, the nature of that blast radius is incredible as well. And we really think very deeply about how to live with eventually. And I think we can have a separate session talk about what Microsoft is doing since then in terms of preventing things like this from happening at this scale. Right? We have to learn from it as well. I think that's the thing. But to say that it will not happen again is I think will be a very dishonest answer as well. Alright. And the second thing is and it's come from I think one of the main dev cybersecurity unit within the room. So if we don't move to the cloud and move all the national data back to local data center, will it be more secure and selected? And the reality is that the answer is no. Right? And I think there's also another realization. It doesn't really matter you are sitting in the data center, you're sitting at the door, or you're sitting in the cloud. As long as you have a device that's connected to internet, everyone is exposed to whether it's intentional or accidental outages like this as well, right? And that's the reality of the society we are living. We're so interconnected, it's almost impossible to disengage, right? So the answer is now is how do we first of all raise an awareness about the need of security, not just at the back end, but also all the way to the edge as well, right? I think the education needs to be continuous as well. It's not just about technology, it's also about processes as well. It's also about governance and so on and so on, right? So there's a lot of layers that we need to investigate and kind of reflect on what we can do better as well. Yeah. So yes, I shouldn't say it's great that it's happened because it obviously impacted a lot of people, right? But I think CrowdStrike is a wake-up call for us as well. A simple mistake, becomes such a big scale thing. Just tell you about the reality of the society we live in today as well, yeah. And how Microsoft, as a largest tech company in the world, has a huge responsibility to provide the right thought leadership and together with the broader community to try to solve this as well. Because this is not a problem that can be solved by a single vendor as well. Yeah.